We started our Loreto Kayak Tour at a beach just south of Escondido. Although they could have handled 7 travelers on this 5-day, 4-night kayak trip around Dazante Island and to Carmen Island, there were only 3 of us, along with our guide, Antonio Hernandez Jr. It turns out that the other 2 travelers were my Loreto Bay neighbors, Gary and Heidi Holliday. We were joined briefly by a group of tour guides out for training. We would occasionally cross their wakes during our tour. We carried our food and even a porta potty, since you cannot bury your waste within the marine reserve. All of the video and most of the photos were taken with my mini iPad and edited with iMovie. We snorkeled at all of our lunch and campsites until our fingers looked like prunes. The water was clear and the fish and sea stars were colorful. After setting up our Danzante Island campsite, we went over to the Honeymoon Cove and hiked up to the viewpoint.
Hey guys.
Hey. How's it going? A nice day in Baja.
Every evening we had a different Mexican dinner, ranging from tostados, tamales, chicken mole with rice, tacos, to fried chicken and refried beans. Breakfasts were equally tasty as well, with tortillas filled with eggs and chilies, or refried beans with shredded chicken, to granola, yogurt, and papaya. On the second day, we repacked our kayaks and headed over to Carmen Island for 2 days.
Hey, Carmen Island coming up?
Here we are in the beautiful Sea of Cortez. I think you might get a shot of the fellow rock from the angle of the video. We're headed towards Carmen Island and doing a little nice snorkeling.
Antonio?
Hello.
Antonio Jr. Hey.
Not only did we see this pod of dolphins right in front of us, but we also saw a big fin whale, just second in size to the blue whales that roam the Sea of Cortez as well.
A small group.
That was a small pod.
Light-colored gas you see on the far right of the Baja is the newly finished Mirador, which used to be the site of frequent rock slides, hazardous to passing motorists and a great viewpoint. This was a great snorkeling area as well. We enjoyed posing at this window rock formation. Another fabulous meal, this time chicken and vegetable tamales and a box of red wine while relaxing in my driftwood chair. Heidi finds another type of chair. In this marine reserve, all waste must be carried out, no cat holes allowed, and we have to pee at the water line and not on land. After 2 nights, we left our Carmen Island campsite and headed back around Desante Island to the campsite we first stayed at.
A lot of action, huh?
We met up again with the kayak guide training group near this slot in the rocks on Desante Island. We stopped for lunch at the next secluded beach where we snorkeled for a couple hours before going around the south end of the island. At the south end, we could see the large destination resort of Villa del Palmar in the distance, which is about 30 miles from Loreto. We came to the trail on Desante Island, but decided not to hike it because the trail was so overgrown because of all the tropical storms and hurricanes that nourished the plants. Plus, the large group of kayak tour guides were already ashore here. We returned to our Desante Island campsite, and Heidi was the first to visit our throne. Antonio prepared chicken mole with rice for our last feast before returning to Loreto.
Okay, this is chicken mole. With rice.
I'm not shy. I'll step up. Yeah.
Okay.
Chicken mole.
So our comida tonight is rice and chicken mole. Thank you so much.
Chicken mole.
Like we're stuck here, we can't get off the island. Tomorrow we'll have been here a week,
Yeah, you're right.
so we have 3 weeks left.
I'll be calling if she does with the beer in the next 2 hours.
We paddled into Escondido Harbor, which is pretty well protected from the hurricanes. However, upon entering, we saw a few boats which had sustained some pretty severe damage. One sailboat had both of its masts broken off and were laying on the deck. Others had tarps covering their damaged living quarters, and another that had been tossed ashore when its anchor gave way. About 5 boats sunk during this last Hurricane Odile. As we pulled ashore and began loading our stuff into the waiting van, a pod of dolphins passed by, bidding us farewell. Antonio treated us to a celebratory lunch and dinner at Sabor restaurant, where his wife Miriam joined us. There we could view the Sea of Cortez and where we had traveled as the sun set behind the Gigantes Mountains.